Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Age of Empires 4 replay. I was going to try to say Age of Mythology, my apologies. So on the south side as the Knights Templar, we have question mark. So on the top right side as the Green Mongols, we got Numudan. And this is that really close range map. I have no idea how this is going to go out for some Mongols. Mongols, of course, can't lock this down. He could try aging up to the Cognitive Palace, get some quick pals, and siege down the Templars' headquarters. We also have a barracks not being established here. The Mongol player is grabbing up some sheeple. Maybe some lost Ronin could be quite nice. I have no idea. And looks like he dropped a gear off here and put a village and dropped a sheep there and put a villager next to it. That's interesting. Red's now pushing forward with some spearmans over here. Probably trying to lock down the sacred sites so you can get the pilgrims going. Oh yeah, I forgot about the wolf dens. My apologies, I've completely forgot about the wolf dens existing in this map. Got some ×2 spearmen not being employed in the field. Probably gonna try to clean the wolf den. Local doggos are coming out to play. Huh. Are these wolves a little bit more powerful? Yeah, pack wolves. Very bitey infantry. Yep, these are actually different than other regular wolves, because usually wolves have 3 damage and classified as bitey infantry. But these are very bitey infantry. So let's get the 150 gold there, enough gold to age on up. Green spearmen are pushing their way forward. Of course, the Mongol start's always pretty slow. Trying to torch down this now. Nakalan does have... Okay, this versus huntable animal, which I don't think wolves are classified as that. Trying to decapture this merchant camp, which will give access to 15 of each resource. Effectively 1 villager income, which is not too terribly bad. I think the wolf models are actually larger, aren't they, as well? Just give them head pats. Mongol, looks like the Kingdom of France being researched now. We do have the Silver Tree being researched. There's a trade post here. The Kingdom of France will give access to an earlier heavy cavalry, which is relatively similar to the sofas. Silver Tree is also being built next to the Ovo, so we'll have access to the ×2 traders. However, that's just maybe just more of a placing of convenience. I'm not sure if you will actually go for ×2 traders. The abandoned outpost here has not been unabandoned. Right, let's find some sheeple there. Right now we've got 5 spearmen versus 4 hardened spearmen. Of course, the Silver Tree is now complete. Not going for a stable here, maybe eyeing for some Keshiks. This map would also dissuade immediate deployment of Keshiks, since the chance of getting some immediate spearmen on the field is nearly guaranteed. First round of Pilgrim has been researched. So potentially every 60 seconds, Red will get 130 gold. We do have a good number of spearmen for both sides. So Red took a lot less damage from the wolves. I think it was a scout who took most damage there. Green does get a good volley there. Green looks like he has better focus firing, even though he starts off the back foot. Does take out one of the red spearmen there, though some of them are dancing around. Nice little bit of micro there, trying to avoid the damage. The con, nope, those are archers pretty forward. Green does lose another spearman there. A pair of Mongol archers exploring the field. That may have been ×2 archers based on what I can see there. Yep, he's going straight ×2 archers. Spearman pushing forward. Keshik's being pulled on the field to counter archers. I actually really disagree with that. And I've been thinking about doing an update video to why I think Mongols are not good, or now it's just straight up bad. Keshiks are actually quite inferior to horsemen when trying to fight archers. Thanks to the horsemen's very high bonus damage against archers, it's generally just better to just blow out horsemen. And right now, he doesn't see anything that would warrant Keshik. The con has gone down there, but the arrow's on cooldown, so not a big issue there. Because right now the Keshik does, if you sort of think about it, the Keshik right now does 15 damage. The Horseman does, what, 9 plus 9, right, against range? So it's 18 damage. Slower attack speed, of course, but with nearly half the cost. And only have a little bit less health, not too bad of a alternative. Archers gain some good damage into each other. Good focus fire there by red and by green. Got a traitor there, very wounded. That may be the wolves, actually. Don't remember the previous traitors took some damage there. Okay, Keshik's going to gaze the wolves. That's probably a good idea. Another ×2 archer on the build queue. Another Keshik as well. I think as well when it comes to the attack speed, as I was talking about earlier. Against in the higher level play where the archers are microed, the higher attack speed is not always guaranteed against a microed unit. Silver Tree being redeployed just farther back, around the corner. The corner would result in a little bit higher income, but nothing too bad at the moment. Something that's also a bit of a problem right now is it's not like a great path there. There may be a bit of traversable land there, but it's hard to tell. Keshiks do get a bit of charge damage there, and they get Spear Brace as well. Red right now has 13 archers, the Mongol player has 8, so right now Red has a far superior archer force in the field. Not to mention he does have 20% effective, more effective lumberjacks. While the Mongols only have 2 villager, a little bit more close to 2.5 villager ovo. And seeing there's 20% more effective lumberjacks, that's effectively about 2 more villagers of income as well right now. So the economic differences are relatively similar at the moment. Economic advantages. Of course, this will start expiring pretty soon. 4 more minutes. Also, traders do get a decent path when going to this trade post here, which is good. Putting more in the corner was very useful there. Yep, looks like they're... that wolf there. That's just a regular wolf rather than a pack wolf, so 3 damage per bite, but this thing is almost down though. Wolf will procure a kill. Nope, does mean get out of range, but cannot take another bite there. Do have now some Chevaliers being plotted here. Field. They have 14 damage, 2 armor, 160 health. If I remember correctly, as well as a counterpart, the Sofas have 17 damage, less health. Got +1 health for being nearby other units, though. They are 170 as opposed to sofas, which are 180? Can't remember exactly. Of course, I do have a pack bonus. Arrow there to increase attack speed. And since the Chevaliers do have less armor, they'll take a little bit extra damage from these archers than, say, a Knight or Keshik. Venison now being obtained. May insert some of these traders. It looks like the 3 health trader did manage to get back on home. In this case, the Keshiks will be a good counter to the Chevaliers. Khan does not take too much damage at the moment. And now the Keshiks now engaging those archers. And his archers are getting some good follow-up damage there. Doesn't really matter what the Keshiks attack in this situation, they will be somewhat effective. Archers are hitting the Chevalier maybe a little bit too much. Keshiks trying to push way forward once again, trying to hit these archers once again. Red needs to get out more spearmen. Green's lost a good number of archers there. Green does have a higher destroyed value at the moment. Some of these reinforcements heading down this way, which could be intercepted. Nobody's gone for the abandoned observation post. Something the Mongol player could do. There tend to be trees along this path. And there's a pretty open path there. Red is not walled in this area. Probably should. A handful of Magadai with a scout support would be very useful. What the heck? Look at the mini-map here. Change mini-map size. I can do it like this. I can probably pull this up like that. Okay, I can do it, oops, twice. There is a dead spot in the middle of these, in this tree deposit somehow. I have no idea how that happened, but it looks like a perfect square on the mini-map. You have now the outpost here, which will improve the movement speed of these nearby heavy units, or heavy Keshiks and all horsemen. Boar has been gored. We do have ×2 pilgrims, so red is going to get 130 gold ×2 every 60 seconds, so 260 gold per minute. Which is a bit of an economic difference too, and the Mongols do have a handful of traders to be a good counterpart, but they're making about 55 gold per trip. Which this will also help speed them up a little bit, so it is a bit of a 2-for-1 right there. Right now, Mongol player has 30 archers versus 36 archers. Of course, whether it's off in range or not. Got the arrow there, which helped him pierce on through. And red does not get enough spearmen to stop the Keshiks. Green can take time to shoot these Chevaliers, no problem. Red can't spend time shooting the Keshiks with the archers, though he has good enough numbers there, and the Keshiks weren't there in large numbers. One less armor really does make a difference. 26 versus 30, so green does have superior number. Here the town started firing over well, so it looks like the more Chevaliers do find their way over here. Number of pastures here, not around the oval. Looks like now a speak of room for them. Chevaliers has gone down. 3 pastures can effectively support the 9 villagers at the moment. My apologies for my drink open up. Archers now advancing. Good number for both sides. Gets a good free volley there on those Chevaliers. It does take a bit of volume in turn. Chevaliers do get a bit of charge damage. Green Cabal is trying to get some spearmen on the field as well. Keshiks now charge way forward. Fresh Ovo has now been deployed out there, and it isn't close enough range for pastures, so it'd be a good idea to get some pastures around it, maybe a blacksmith with improved research. We do also have now the arrow being deployed in the field. Good damage there. Pastures push way forward. Not too many Chevaliers remaining. Of course, can't get actually on network. Keshik's been cleaned on up. Chevalier is taking some damage as well. Green has a much higher destroy drought at the moment. Mongol player does not have enough resources to Agion up. Red is starting to approach enough resources to Agion up. Now got some more patches being put in the field. Patch does get cleaned up there. In this situation, it may still be better to go for horsemen since he's still using archers to focus down the Chevaliers mostly. Or there's still an argument to be made that horsemen could just be better in this situation. Won't have that increased melee armor, but we'll have roughly the same health. Just a little bit less. And be able to perhaps resist, and would be able to resist not as much archer damage, so maybe not. But easy to mass on up. If he's having trouble getting catches in the field, can always still go for some horsemen. Of course, now got another pair of pastures here. Supported by the Ovo as well, going for wheelbarrow. Do now the arrow upgrade there. Granted as well, the Chevaliers do have a bit of a gold reduction now, don't they? Since they are next to, since he has aged up with the French. Yeah, just a little bit, 4 extra gold less. Looks like we got a decent number of trades in the field. Looks like Silk Road level 2, or Silk Road level 3 has been fully activated. And has a good extra amount of gold income now. Mongol player is really starting to get his trade going. Granted, he only has 1 Yam outpost right now. Can always go for a safer one back here next to a small gold deposit. We're probably going to see the Kurultai. Think how much fight's been over here as well. The Kurultai probably the best option. Plus, he doesn't necessarily need gold since he has the trade. We're probably with Genoa now being researched. We should get a Genoese crossbowman, a mercenary elite crossbowman, which should be good against the Keshiks. I also don't know what the other effect will be. Let's see, when it comes to 14 villagers on gold versus 0, so the traders are doing quite well. Veteran Chevaliers and Veteran Archer Research. Kurultai now being established, very nice. Not the best position, but you can always just pack up and go to another location. Now it's going to be trying to raid the traders. We also got now the super mobility research there. So these traders will be going down. We do have a couple outposts up here, and Boar has been 25% seized. Trying to save the Kurultai. Maybe important just go forward now. He has saved the traders. Kurultai has been established and should have good vision in this region. That's the wrong button. The Kurultai, of course, getting plus 2% firepower, as was good health regen there. There's fire the arrow there. No whistling arrow upgrade, so it'll be a short buff. In fact, we gain 1 extra arrow in the air. Veteran Keshik and Veteran Archer research now on the way. Veteran Keshik has been researched. Of course, the Veteran Archers get plus 2 damage with their Veteran variant. Now I got some Brother Templars now being put in the field. The heavy cavalry for the Knights Templar. Kurultai has been re-established. Plus 1% damage, help even out the differences. 7 damage for 8 damage. Still has 70 health versus 80. The Veteran Archer is almost complete. Which put these guys up to what, 10 damage? Yep, 10 damage for the time frame. Over here, looks like got some Brother Templars hitting the pastures. We have what appears to be 5 pastures in the field. There's going to support a decent number of villagers, but not all of them. So I have to rely on the boar and the berries, which he has. We do now have a gear. This gear could be cancelled. Doesn't really need it at the moment. Actually managed to redeploy gear over there. Right now, it looks like I got gonna Brother Templars for heavy cavalry and some veteran archers. The extra gold reduction value from the French upgrades particularly effective for them. Spring gold upgrades somewhere. We also got some Yam networks, but you got idea to get the Yam network research going just so his infantry can move around a little bit faster. Veteran Keshik's engagement, so that's where the spring gold engagement emplacement was. Another outpost here and outpost there. 4,000 gold deposit. Yam network now being researched. Spring golem placement has been set ablaze and will go down, looks like. I don't think the villagers will make back in time to get it repaired. Kesh is falling back there. Got the defense area there, getting +2/+2 armor, which make these guys pretty much bulletproof for archers. More Keshik's pushing forward, trying to redeploy the Kurultai. We're having trouble, just a single guy with a torch can stop the Kurultai from being redeployed. They'll just need to seek some shelter. Kurultai may not be able to be re-established there. More crossbow being pulled in the field is good. He needs a way to deal with those Brother Templars a little bit more effective. Keshiks always fall a little bit short on the heavy armor engagements. Kurultai's been re-established there, getting some good health regen there. Some of the traders may have been caught in the mix of it. Berries being obtained here. A decent number of pasture sheep looks like deployed in the field as well. Not too many, 11 right now. For 4 or 5 pastures, which 2 affected by ovos. Which can support a decent number of villagers. It does have 1 level economic upgrade. And looks like some of these traders going down. They should have just went up north rather than going down south. Green's trying to spawn to it, but he's going to probably lose all these traders. Right now, Green does have less civilians. Red's cut off a good number of civilians at the moment. Kurultai's trying to be established right here. With the Kurultai right here, their values are roughly similar. Effectively add, since it does provide plus 20% damage, which is half the importance, the other part is health. Directly increase the army value by 10% when that gets deployed in the field. So it's roughly 8,000 versus nearly 10,000 resources on the field. Archers taking getting decent free damage there. Red will retaliate, or Green does retaliate for a decent amount of damage there. Kashik's now engaged, does use the fence arrow there, but I don't think the wisdom arrow research has been completed. Nope, it has not been researched. More brother Templars push forward. Monk also advancing. Red has obtained 2 relics. Got to see a wall over there? Nope. Yeah, still think the Mongol players should have gone a bit more heavy in horsemen versus all these archers. They're just far more cost effective against archers. Let me get my drink in my other hand. Got a Yam tower here, and a good number of Yam towers have been pulled in the field. Spring gold upgrades being deployed in the field. He just needs more crossbowmen. He is getting more crossbowmen. Keshik's pursuing these brother Templars. Horsemen would be good to summon their unit. Right now, the Mongol players low on wood, or not wood, food. Not super high in gold as well. Pretty much just line the traders at the moment, which will give them some decent amount of trade. But right now, there's 14 in the field. Doesn't even have Silk Road level 3 at them anymore. Castle trying to be deployed in the field, or fortress, to protect the trade posts there. Defense arrow there. The defense arrow does not have wisdom arrow activated. Spring gold upgrade being obtained. That was cancel spring gold upgrade to make sure he gets the resources back. Fortress deployed on the field. It looks like the monk is claiming this sacred site there. Red has obtained 4 relics, just leaving a 5th relic left in the field, which is right here. New Shum's field, we are seeing some traction trebuchets being pulled in the field by forward siege workshops. Traction trebuchets have less range, less DPS, higher attack speed. Cash is now engaging. Not too many archers nor crossbowmen back here. The crossbowmen make sure they focus on these brother Templars. Another traction trebuchet to pull in the field. The Kurultai can provide health regen to the traction trebuchets. Most of the caches do go down. They do quite poorly versus other heavy knights and other heavy cavalry with their lower base damage. They may have slightly higher attack speed, but with the lower base damage makes them have less DPS versus knights and lancers for the cost. And that is the end of the replay. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.